and this is Kelly Hill Yoga, 30 Days of Yoga, day 16. We're over the hump and riding that wave back down. I'm so happy for today's practice. We're going to show some love to our back, and today we're going to do that through some baby back bends, just keeping it really simple and mindful as we move through natural motion of our spines. You will need 2 blocks for this, especially in the beginning of this practice. We're going to hang out and really open up our hearts in order to receive the proper energy that we need in order to do some of these fun little small movements with our spine. So when you're ready, grab your blocks and we'll get started. We did fish bows, I think about a week ago, and remember, it does take a little bit of time to get set up. You may play with the placement so you can have them up on this higher setting like so, or you can have it at the lower setting, just wherever you feel grounded and able to hold the posture comfortably without feeling any undue pressure or tension and feel the need to fidget or wiggle to find comfort. So I'm just going to show you really quick. You want 1 block under your head and 1 between your shoulders on your mat. I like to start on this lower setting, and then if I feel like I need to open up a little bit more, then I will adjust my setting partially through holding this posture, and we will be here for a little bit. So like I said, it's very important to find comfort in this pose. As you can see, trying to wiggle and move. If you're a girl, so your ponytail, adjust that just so the back of the head is nice and rested on your block. And when you're ready, melt your hips into the earth, close your eyes, and just feel your heart open. Entire space becomes ready to receive this practice today. Hips rested on the mat. And when we think back bends, it doesn't necessarily mean cranking or rolling your spine into some sort of Cirque du Soleil type posture. Sometimes it really is just about releasing some tension you might be holding in the front body, like in your hip flexors or tight chest muscles, that could be causing prevention of your body to release into your back bend a little bit more. So that's why it's nice to open up the front body in order to have that back bend. But I will stop talking, and we will start to intensify our focus and pull our energy inward to be in this moment. Stop fidgeting and wiggling if you are. Just really be here in this small mindful meditation. Deep inhale, elongated, pulling that chest, filling it up, pulling your chest up to the sky. Exhale into your hips, melt into the earth. if you would like, it's totally okay to stay here for a minute. You may remove the block at your head and let your head fall back to find a little bit more of a back bend. It's totally okay. If this is too intense, put that block right back under your head. Just going to be here for a few rounds of breath. Still letting our spine and heart be ready for this practice. Great. If you had that other block removed, we need to be very careful coming out of this. So the best way to do so is bring the soles of your feet up and kind of roll off to the side and out of the posture. Setting our blocks off to the side. Coming back to our back. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Keep the right knee in as you extend the left leg out for a spinal twist. So transition that right knee over to the left. Right arm comes out to the side. Gaze out to that right hand as well. Just working on natural movement of the spine. Waken things up before we do some baby back bends. Nice. Gently come back to center. Left knee into your chest. Right extends out. Transition over to that right side. Gaze out to the left hand as it's extended out to that left. This is probably one of my favorite postures. Just great at waking up your body, getting that circulatory system moving, digestion moving. Come back to center. Hug both knees in again. Let's bring that forehead to your knees, just curling up in a little ball, squeezing everything together in this kind of opposite posture of a back bend, really pulled in. Exhale, release. Soles of the feet on the earth, knees bent, hands at our sides. Exhale, drive the hips up, bridge pose. Squeeze the glutes at the top, really finding height. Not crunching anywhere in your neck. Keep that chin slightly tucked. Exhale, slowly roll one vertebrae at a time down. Tailbone, last to touch. Beautiful. Knees back in, hug it out again. And then when you're ready, rock up to cat-cow or tabletop, so we can do cat-cow. So we'll set up first, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's pull that belly button in, just being really strong in our integrity in this posture. Exhale. Pull that belly button in further, round through the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, drop the belly this time, relaxing, letting it pull towards the earth as your chin comes up to the sky. So kind of doing this back bend, right? When we were in cat pose. And then another back bend in the opposite direction when we do cow. So just really rolling through the spine. If you need to, you can shift from side to side. Just do a couple of rounds on your time, through your movements, whatever you need, any little bit. When you're ready, we will come back to nice neutral position and into our first back bend. So let's reset, make sure the hands are under the shoulders and they are pulled away from the ears, really staying strong. Take your right foot and lift it to the sky with that knee bent. Belly button is still pulled in. We're not letting anything lower down, just staying activated in that glute right now in order to keep that right heel to the sky, not opening up to the side, still pointed down. Take your left hand, and when you're ready, reach back for that right foot and pull your right foot away from your hand as we find this fun little back bend. I think I've heard it called tiger pose before. If you have a better name for it, leave it below in the or in the comments. Just a little tiny back bend, opening up early in our practice. Exhale, release, bring everything back down. Take it to the other side. Left foot drives up, really finding height, squeezing in that left glute. Belly button pulled in. Find height. When you're ready, take your right hand to the top of your left foot and open up into this nice little back bend, almost kind of like a bow pose. Just opening up the front of that right shoulder, a little bit of spine movement. Exhale, release, lower everything back down. It's also totally okay if you could not reach your foot. Everybody is different. Nothing is better than the other when we're practicing yoga. It really is your practice. Let's tuck the toes, shift the hips back, rise up to our first downward dog of the day. Just walking it out if you need. Really waking up the back side of the body, ankles, calves, hamstrings. Pulling ourselves inward for this practice. Keeping our hearts open, ready to receive. Beautiful. Bend the knees, deep inhale, exhale, step to the top of your mat. Forward fold, letting gravity do the work. Nice, relaxed neck and shoulders, letting everything hang down. You may grab your elbows if you like. Generous bend in the knees. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms to chest. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring them to your back and palms together. So in this prayer, and I'll shift so you can see really quick. So my hands are in this prayer, fingers pointed down. If you want to intensify it, you can have your hands facing up like this, really opening up in the front of your shoulders. But since this is more beginner, let's just keep our hands, fingers pointed down. For those of you who are in that beginner state, tailbone still pulled down, really waking up the front of our shoulders and chest. Just another round of breath. Beautiful. Exhale, release. Shake your arms out a little bit. And I know it kind of seems weird to do things like opening up our front chest or opening up the front of our delts, but these are things that you need in order to do more advanced postures down the road, is find that length, strength, and integrity, especially in your shoulders if you ever do want to do things like bridge pose. So bringing our focus back, my apologies for the side tangent. Pull that belly button in, tailbone reach down to the earth, hands at our chest. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise. Arms up, overhead, palms together. Clasp the fingers, thumb and index finger pointing up towards the sky. Reach back, baby back bend. Just ever so gently. Nice. Exhale, fold forward. Relaxing. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift, reactivating that spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Root to rise, standing again. Exhale. This time, let's bring our hands almost like we're wearing jeans and we have them in our back pockets. So shoulders really open and pulled away from the ears, pulling your elbows towards each other. Add some pressure to your glutes with your hands like you're pushing into those pockets in order to find a back bend. If you're able, you can drop your head back, just really opening up through that front body. Or keep your chin tucked as well. That's totally okay too. Just holding this for a moment and around a breath. Exhale, release, fold forward. Slowly fold forward, not jerking, especially since we just did that little back bend. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, arms up and overhead. This time, let's hook the index fingers, shift to the right, stretching that left side body. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, shift to the left. Fingers still clasped, gently doing this spinal motion. Not jerking anything around, quick movements. Feeding off what our body is telling us, how slow we need to go. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms to chest. Just resetting. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Inhale, press the earth away from you. Exhale, lower all the way down. Gently. Hands under shoulders. Little baby back bend here. Hands under shoulders. Inhale, rise to cobra. So press up. If you're able, straighten through the arms. If not, keep them nice and bent, chest pulled forward. Beautiful. Exhale, roll it back down. Inhale, rise back up to cobra. Little baby back bends, not pushing anything too far. Exhale, lower gently back down. Shift the hips back. Child's pose. Gently come back to this child's pose. Arms out in front of you. Just really feeling that stretch. Being careful and mindful with these little back bends, ensuring that we continue to do small counter movements. So every time we bend back, we'll try and have a forward bend as well. Just keeping things balanced. And it also kind of adds symmetry as well. Great. When you're ready, come back up to a downward dog. Adjust your hands and feet if you need. Set up this posture nice and strong. You should feel really good stretch in the back in this posture, especially since we just did all that mobility. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, gently step between your hands. Lower your back knee down, low lunge. Inhale, rise to have your arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, lower the hands down. Grab your foot, your back foot with both hands to get a nice quad stretch. As I almost fall over, to get a nice quad stretch. And then we're going to pull that foot away from our hands to have a little tiny back bend here. Just getting a nice stretch in the quad and left hip flexor with a little baby back bend. Beautiful. Slowly release that back foot, not letting anything sling back. Gently lower down and shift your hips back to a single leg split in that right leg. So if you need to shift that leg, your right leg forward a little bit, flip your tailbone up towards the sky as you pull your heart space forward. Really activating that posterior chain that we've talked about before, which is your low back, glutes, and hamstrings. Nice. Rebend in that front knee and step back to downward dog. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, release. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg up, taking it to the other side. Exhale, gently step between the hands. Slowly lower your back knee, toes tucked or untucked, does not matter. And if you would like, you can place a blanket under this back knee, or you can fold your mat in half if you need, which I'll show you that really quick for that back knee, just to add a little bit of back padding, like so, if you have a thinner mat. All right, so in this low lunge, inhale, rise, arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring them behind you to grab that back foot, quad stretch, grabbing at the top of that foot. Pull your foot away from your body in order to get a little baby back bend, opening up your heart space, chest, that right front hip flexor as you pull that foot away. Really great job. Only here for a moment. Exhale, gently release. Bring the hands down, step back to downward, shift your hips back to the single leg split on this left side. Almost skipped this side, didn't I? So straightening through that front leg or left leg gentle micro bend in the knee, chest pulled forward, tailbone pulled up or flipped up to the sky. Exhale, release, rebend in the knee, step back to downward dog. One round of breath here. Inhale, find height in the knees. Exhale, release any tension. Let's slowly lower both knees down and come to sit on our feet for just a moment as we do one little slight back bend here. So knees together, hips set on the top of our feet. If you cannot get here, you may put a blanket underneath your booty, or if you need to, you can come to sit on a block like this as well if your quads are quite tight in this posture. So staying here, let's clasp the hands behind our sacrum. And then exhale, pull them away, chest forward as we bend back just ever so much. Let the head fall back, chin lifted to the sky if you wish, or you can stay here, pulling those hands down and away. Being very careful and mindful of our back. Please, 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 if any of this causes any undue pressure or pain, immediately stop. Exhale, gently release your hands. And let's just walk our hands forward really quick to get a counter bend or a counter movement. Nice. Rise back up. And for our peak posture of the day, we're going to do camel, but it's going to be very modified since today we're thinking minimal movement in the spine, nothing too crazy. You can have your toes tucked or untucked for this, just however you find that stability. Knees are about hip width apart, directly under your hips. Let's pull that tailbone down towards the earth as we pull the belly button towards the spine. Just finding some integrity here before we think about taking anything further. So if you need to, just to be mindful, place your hand on that belly and then your other hand, the top of your other hand, over your tailbone. Just thinking, hold in and down. Great. Now let's bring both hands behind that same jeans pocket thought that we had earlier when we did this in mountain pose or standing posture. So hands pretending they're in our back pockets. We're wearing jeans. Glutes are activated, tailbone down, pointed down towards the earth. Let's gently press the hips forward as we bend in the back, just ever so gently. Nothing too crazy. Let your head fall back if you wish, or keep it up here, chin just slightly tucked if you like. Just holding here for a moment, pressing those hips forward. Really making sure that tailbone's pulled down to keep any pressure off the low back. Beautiful. Exhale. Gently shift. Gently. Very slowly. Pull the hips towards the feet. We're going to come into child's pose, but we're going to do this very slowly since we did just do a back bend. There you go. Gently lower down to your heels. Walk those hands out in front of you. Rest your forehead on your mat. Child's pose. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe into that low back. Almost like you're causing the air that is you are inhaling in to ride down your spine all the way to that low back. Exhale, let it ride back up your spine and out through your mouth. Inhale deeply through the nose, down the spine to the low back. Exhale fully out through the mouth. Let's do this for a few more rounds. So deep inhale through the nose, very elongated, riding down the spine all the way to the low back. Exhale through the mouth, all the way back up and out. Last one. Inhale through the nose, down the spine to the low back. Exhale, all the way back up, out the mouth. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's come back up and onto our back. I know that's a big transition, but I really want to do one last really nice supported posture. So we're going to do bridge, but let's grab our block again. So we have one block ready. Feet about hip width apart, soles of the feet on the mat. Let's set up our shoulders. Drive the hips up into bridge. Grab that block. Have it on the lowest setting. And when you're ready, exhale to release down to that block to be resting on your sacrum. You might need to adjust it. Just make sure it's not too high, not too low. If it's too low, you're going to feel really weird pressure on the tip of your tailbone. If it's too high, you'll feel pressure in your low back, but you should feel very supported on your sacrum on this block. Inhale, and then exhale into that low back again. Arms rested at your sides. You should feel, well, I don't want to say should, need to get away from that word. You might feel very grounded, supported in this. You don't want to be fidgeting or wiggling. Very similar to what we did in the beginning in that fish pose. The blocks are here to support. Bring deep relaxation and calm. Don't let your mind wander out the door yet. Let's keep it here. If you have to say inhale and exhale to keep yourself focused, that's okay. Eyes are closed. Gaze softened. Gently curl your tailbone up to slightly lift your hips so you can slide that block out from underneath, and then lower your hips all the way down. Beautiful. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock back and forth. Just release any last little bit of tension we might hold in our low back. And rise up to a seated position so we can close out the day after doing these fun little baby back bends, knowing that it's okay to have small, mindful movements in the spine, and it's just as healthy and effective as somebody who does crazy, like I said earlier, Cirque du Soleil movement, hands at our chest, nice and tall in our spine. Be present for one last moment of gratitude. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you for spending day 16 with me. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Love you.